How to help yourself. That's what we're going to talk about today. Yourself. This is very important. Underline this, draw the arrows, because the reality is nobody is going to help you unless you help yourself, and no help that anybody can give you in an area will fix any of your issues if you personally are not working on yourself, and if you are not taking the lead role on yourself. Okay, now this is a system that I've developed, okay? It's just my way of doing it, and it works for fitness, but it works for all areas of life, okay? I'm gonna give it to you now. First, okay, 1, decide, okay? I've talked about this before. You decide, you act, you believe. Now, we're gonna break this down. This is where that fits, decide. Number 1, if you don't make a decision about something in your life, about an objective that you have, about a goal you have, something you're gonna do for yourself, if you don't make that mental commitment of decision, that's kind of where it ends. That's kind of where it stops. If you don't get past this up here, then that's where it ends, all right? So step 2, you're gonna assess. Once you make that decision, we'll use weight loss as the example here, but this works for any area of your life. You decide, you know what, I need to lose 100 pounds, okay? And you decide you're really gonna do it. Not like, oh, I decide I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, or insert whatever you want there. Then you need to assess, okay, so whatever I decided here, take stock of where you're at, assessment. So we're talking about your health right here, talking about all your factors, all your health factors, right? You assess that. You figure out what is, towards whatever this goal is, what is the most pressing thing that you need to focus on to help you to that goal, okay? It might be that your heart rate is through the roof. It might be that your joints are screwed up. It might be that you have an injury you need to get physical therapy for. Whatever it is, you do an assessment to figure out where you're at right now. Because if you don't know where you're at, you just know you want to go in a general direction. Well, how do you make a plan to go from point A to point B? There's got to be some kind of a basic, okay, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to work towards that. And this can be figured out. As you work on yourself, as you work towards a goal, you will get better at assessing, and you will learn what factors you actually need to assess and which factors affect this goal, and where you should be checking in and self-assessing based on what this goal is, okay? Third, okay, prioritize, okay? We need to figure out, of the things that we assessed, say we assess 10 things, okay? We've assessed 10 items that we know are crucial to this, right? Then of those 10 things, of that to-do list and those things that you know you need to do to get here, which ones need to be done first? Which ones will allow you to do the most for the least amount of effort that you can get a big return on, you get a big bang for your buck? Where are those priorities, okay? You list them out, 1, 2, 3, ... All right, I got to do this first, because if I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to do these two. All right, so you get your priorities straight. Okay. Number 4, establish a plan. Okay, very important. You got to say, all right, I know what I want to do. I know where I'm at. Here are some things, and this is the order I'm going to do them in, because these are the most important tasks. Now here's a plan on how I'm going to get these items done, okay? And it's important that you have a plan and you have that clear goal, because the plan will lead you to this, right? Through these actions. But it's okay if your plan sucks to start. You can always adjust your plan as you learn to reassess better, and you assess as you go. Assessment is a continual thing. That's why it's way up near the top. Every time you come back to that decision, the next thing you do is you take that status. Okay, I'm down, 50 pounds. Now I need to lose 50. Reassess. Maybe different factors, and maybe you need to prioritize differently. This plan can be malleable. It is not that you need to have a perfect plan. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, and your plan can be pretty crappy, but if you continually act and try and try and try, you just might make a whole lot of progress, even with a piss poor plan, all right? But you're always trying to make that plan better. So that's step 4, all right? Step 5, you need to be accountable. Accountability to your plan. I did that wrong. Accountability to your plan, all right? You've got to find a way to hold yourself accountable to your plan and to all these things above the plan. You've got to have upward accountability. And I don't care how you do that. It's going to be different for everybody. Some people, it's going to be talking to God, all right? Prayer. God, I can't spell today. Some people, it's going to be place a bet, you know? Put some money on this. Bet a close friend. Say, you know what? I bet I can lose 30 pounds before you can lose 30 pounds. Or I bet I can save up $1,000 before you can. Whatever this goal is, however it's applicable, you know, you figure out your priority. Maybe it's you need a friend to talk to. Okay? Maybe you need to put a post on social media and put some pressure on yourself. Maybe you need to talk to your spouse about it. Have accountability with somebody. Somehow you need to have accountability for a plan. For most people with fitness, it's supposed to be a New Year's resolution, but they fall through. But you can also get a trainer, right? They will be there to hold you financially accountable and accountable on the fitness. Say, look, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be working out. I sent you home with stuff to do. You're not completing your tasks. You need to change that, or you're not going to get to this goal, all right? They're a great way for fitness, you know, to hold you accountable with that plan. If this is a financial goal, maybe you'd have a financial advisor that would be your accountable partner in that plan, all right? Next, 6, you don't give up when it becomes difficult. Do not give up. It will be difficult. Okay, it's gonna be hard, especially if this is an aggressive, big goal that you really set yourself something. You know what? That's really what I want. Not what I want to settle for, but that is what I want. That's what I'm going to work towards. That's what I'm going to desire. That's the proper goal, the big goal, not the, well, I really need to lose 100, but you know what? I'm just going to start with, oh, I want to lose 20. If you set for that 20, you're never going to make your 100, because your plan and your priorities and the amount of accountability you hold for this little goal, it needs to be times 5 to get to that 100 pounds you actually need. And that's why some people out there, Grant Cardone says 10x those goals. Whatever that goal is, multiply it, okay? Doesn't mean you need to lose 1,000 pounds, but make sure the goals are proper, okay? Make sure they're actually big and not something that you'll settle for, okay? It's gonna be difficult. Just accept that. Lock in on that work and jump in and accept that difficulty, because you realize that when things are too easy and when things just come easy as it is, there's no appreciation for that achievement and it doesn't provide happiness. The fact that you overcome something difficult helps provide the happiness and helps self-generate the happiness, okay? And then lastly, number 7, maintain your focus. And this has to do with avoiding distractions. Okay? Especially when you have goals, big goals, proper goals, most of these are going to take some time. There's a time element in all of this, okay? And when you have that 100-pound goal, there's only so fast you can work on that. When buying your first house is your goal, there's only so fast you can go to save up that money and to find the right piece of property. You can only force things and muscle and effort things to go so fast in life. There is always a limit to how much you can push and make things speed up, okay? But there's gonna be that element of time, a long timeline on big goals. It's gonna be hard to maintain your focus because other things are gonna come up. Other things are going to distract you from that goal. Other things are going to become other priorities that you decide, you know, oh shit, I need to work on that too. You know, your life situation might change. This might be a goal, and then all of a sudden you change jobs. and or you have to change housing, or you all of a sudden you have a baby, pick any life event that's going to happen. You have a relative that needs care or something now, and your amount of time to work on this changes. Your financial resources to achieve this big goal changes. Lots of things can happen while you're in pursuit of this stuff. While you were in pursuit of those original decisions you made that you said were important to you, a lot of crap's going to happen, guys. And we know that, we accept it, and we say, you know what? Don't give up. It will be difficult. And you know what? But if it was a good idea and it was a good goal and it was something that you actually really, truly wanted, and that was a good thing for you to get, then you have to avoid getting waylaid, and you have to maintain that focus on it. And that's another one where you have to figure out your personal way of how you maintain your focus. Maybe it's you take 5 minutes every morning to meditate on this goal. Maybe you visualize on this goal for 10 minutes every day. Maybe every single day, the first hour of your day is spent on this. A system is the most beneficial way, the most fruitful way to maintain your focus and avoid distractions on something you're working towards. Having a dedicated system, because a system will build a habit. You write a system out on paper, you develop something, a blueprint of part of your plan, but that system for accountability and that focus, right? You say, all right, to avoid the focus and to make sure that I'm prioritizing this, I'm going to get this done first thing. I'm going to wake up half an hour early, or whatever it is. You figure that out. That can be something that every day you double check in on this. How am I making progress towards that goal? You could have a once a week. All right, once a week, I do a new assessment of where I'm at, and I see if I made progress or not. And then that'll tell you, do I need to make any adjustments, or is my plan really working? And I should continue with 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But if every week you check back in and you're not making progress on this, well, maybe we need to tweak the plan. Maybe tweak it a little bit. Maybe we need to, find somebody that can help us better assess. Maybe we can find somebody, maybe your accountability's down, right? But that's kind of the order it goes in, guys, all right? And this works for everything. I talk a lot about fitness because this is near and dear to my heart, and because it kills me to see so many people unhappy and so many people having this that should be their goal, or more, or double that, or triple that, right? I posted about this the other day. I talk about fitness a lot with this, but this system of how to help yourself works with anything. Okay, it does. It's a systematic approach. It's A plus B plus C. It's 1 + 1 = 2, all right? Everybody who is successful is going to tell you this. Everybody who has lost weight and kept it off and has made a lifestyle change is going to tell you they just started at square one and decided it was the time and didn't go back from that. You decide something, right? And then you commit to it, and no matter what decision you make, you're never going to be able to know all the factors, all the variables that are in that decision. As you work on this and as you build your skills and you learn more and you get further down this path, you might say, wow, that maybe I should have decided something different, or maybe I should have done something different, with that. You can reassess, but you can't question your decision. You decide something, and then whatever that decision is, you make it right for yourself. All right? That's how you keep from, judging your own decisions and self-doubting and getting waylaid in your own distractions up here, right? Controlling that mental conversation. I've talked about that before. When you decide, you know what? I medically need to lose 100 pounds because I am way in a bad risk category. Or you decide, I got to save some money because I've been living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck for years and I can't do this anymore, right? You decide that, you stick with it. And you don't judge yourself 6 months later and say, you know what, that was a stupid decision. It might have been, but at the time, there was a reason why you thought that. And so don't judge your decision making. Get better at assessing, get better at prioritizing, right? Get better at looking at your whole life and figuring out what are the decisions you should make. Don't feel bad about the decisions you make. Just work on making better ones, okay? And all these, this is 7 steps for one goal, for one thing. But really, we do this little process thousands of times a day probably, if not more, because every action you take has some element of this in there. Whether it's you decide whether or not you're going to go get McDonald's or cook your own food. You decide whether to go blow that $100 or save it. You decide which vehicle to drive for the day. You decide how much time to spend on your cell phone. You decide what to say to your boss when he gives you a job. Do you accept it, wholeheartedly, or are you, negative about it? All these decisions that you make, all your little actions, all the things you do, they're falling in here somewhere, right? They all end up in here, but this is a matrix for big decisions, for helping yourself, okay? Because all those little decisions, you might not see where they fit into this, but all those tiny little split-second decisions, all those actions, they are what make up you, okay? Your habits and your day-to-day decisions, that is what make up you, all right? And if you don't get a handle on that stuff and you're not paying attention to that stuff and the little stuff, the big stuff's going to be way more difficult because you're going to be distracted by all the little stuff, and you're going to have a hard time making progress. This is a comprehensive approach to your whole being. That's why I say it can work for anything. This is not just about our health. It's great to be in shape, but if you're piss broke and your relationship's failing because you've screwed up, and messed up your relationship and your marriage, and your kids hate you, and everything else is falling apart, right? Then what does your health matter if you don't? We've got to work comprehensively to improve ourselves, to help ourselves. And the best thing about this is when you help yourself and you do better as a person, your ability to affect the other people around you is amplified, okay? They will see that, you made a decision, and all of a sudden, wow, he followed through on that. So many people don't follow through on their decisions, right? And the big stuff that they say they're going to do, right? It's really important that we do that, okay? Because somebody is going to be watching you and is going to see that, they actually are making progress. That's going to give them fuel and fire. And it's going to do one of two things. Either they're going to judge you and hate you for that, or they're going to be inspired, one or the other. And you really can't control whether your progress and your success, when you do lose this 100 pounds and you feel great, and you get that new car, and you're succeeding financially, or when you have that happy marriage, right? When you get your house that you love, you have a big success, your business is doing well. When that happens, they'll be happy for you, or they'll hate you, and you really can't control that. But all you can do is control you. That's it, guys. So I hope this helps. This is my system for helping myself. This is my system for helping you guys. I apply this system everywhere. All right. I really want you guys to get better, stronger, healthier, both mentally and physically. I want you to be more financially secure. I want you to just feel happy about your life. Okay. I'm pursuing happiness in my life, and I want to help you guys pursue happiness in your life, okay? And doing this stuff and sharing the things that I've learned really gives me a lot of happiness and a lot of purpose, all right? So please let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. If you don't like it, don't, all right? I'm not asking you for feedback or for, I'm not asking you to tell me something was great when it's not, all right? If it doesn't help you, that's fine. But I'm here. And if I'm helping you, tell me about it. Tell somebody else. Send this around, okay? Because people need to help other people. This can't come from the top. It can't come from the government. It can't come from social policy. It's come from within. You help yourself. You do good for yourself. You do good for others, for your neighbors, okay? And you help the people around you. And then as that gains momentum, you can spread and you can help more and more people. But if you're broken, you can't help other people. I'll see you later.